Welcome, everyone. My name is Forum Shade. I am the co-founder and chief coaching officer here at Vida. I'm so honored to welcome John, Johnny, Cash, so many names, who is one of our brilliant career specialists and director of career services. Welcome, John.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So part of today is for everyone who's watching to just understand who John is. I mean, you've built up quite a reputation, which we're going to get to, but tell us, who are you outside of the resume?
My favorite way I've ever been described is as a loose cannon and a man utterly devoid of qualms. One of our clients described me that way because I'm somebody that has lived his entire life outside the box. I really built my own early career out of scraps and pieces and grit, and I've been through the ringer on great and bad interviews, great and bad jobs, great and bad opportunities, failures, disasters, explosions, all sorts of things that have brought me to here. And the bulk of that career happened in one way or another in the workforce and talent development space. So I've been a recruiter, I've been a hiring manager, I've built sales teams, I've built C-suite teams. I've really done a lot of connecting between people and companies and other companies. And I've been in that labyrinth. I knew how terrible it was. Finally, coming out the other side, I thought, I've got to find a way to help other people navigate through this because it's such a challenge and so demoralizing in many ways. And there's a lot of broken pieces. And understanding how that kind of damaged machine works can really help build people's confidence back up and let them navigate it. So that's what I want to do. I want to bring that space, some more accessibility to that space to people, and that's who I am.
I love that. And we see that. I mean, you truly have a name for yourself with all of your clients. How would you describe the reason why your clients gravitate towards you?
Oh, I'm always so hesitant to answer this because I don't always know. I think of myself as somebody that just loves seeing their success, and I think that gets mirrored. I'm not faking it when I'm excited for someone else. You know, even what you see behind me, this is my children's art. I'm so excited about it. I love seeing every poorly drawn stick figure. You know, I love it. I love every second of it. I love it when other people find what they want to do because I found it. I know the feeling is so great. And I want to live in a world where everybody's doing what they want to do and they're being their best selves because that world is a more fun world for me. And I think that desire becomes infectious. I think people can tell that I legitimately want to see their best selves manifest. And I'm just happy to be along for the ride with that. And I think that's why we make that connection. They know I'm truly in their corner.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that's very reflective of you in you're just a cheerleader for everyone. And that's what matters to you. And I think that's why your clients just absolutely adore you. So with that, I mean, walk us through what a typical process might look like for a client who says, John, I don't even know what I want to do.
Well, and it's tough because it might not be what you would expect. So if you've never worked with me before or even worked with somebody in my position before, you might be surprised at how often that cheerleading becomes, you know, breaking things down and talking about what things we can change. I think that the aspect where I come to the table so encouraging is what helps build the rapport and trust so that you know if I tell you I think something isn't working or that we have to re-examine something, it's coming from a place of support. It's not coming from a place of attacking. Some people have unhealthy or unhelpful beliefs, attitudes, habits that are really standing in their way. And I have to be that person that tells you that because maybe there's other people in your life that aren't. That's the relationship that we have. So we're going to start there. We're going to start with the acknowledgement that no matter what you've done in your life, it's led you to this point. What you've done in your career has led you to this point. If you don't want to be at this point anymore, in whatever direction you want to leave, at least one thing has to change. The car will not change direction on its own. You've got to turn the wheel. So if we're not ready to change something, then we're not going to go anywhere different. So we have to acknowledge that doesn't mean that your decisions were wrong or that they were bad or that they were mistakes or anything like that. They were very successful in bringing you to here. Now we have to do something else. That can be really emotionally challenging for people. So I think if you don't come from a place of hype and excitement to the end destination, they're not going to be very receptive to that. So what I try to do is make sure everyone understands we're doing this together. You know, if I'm here and if I'm challenging those beliefs, it's because I want us to get somewhere really exciting, and that's whatever matters to you.
Yeah. So what I hear is the 50-50 partnership, but also knowing that you're not just here to be like, we can do it, but there's true discomfort at times, which is acceptance of here's where I am, and acceptance of there might be some pivots, there might be some things I need to change, whether it's my thought process, whether it's the confidence I have in myself to get to where I need to go.
Absolutely.
One of the things that I absolutely admire about you, John, and I send clients your way who are my clients because I'm like, this is John's wheelhouse, it's not mine, is you're extremely creative when it comes to the job search process. And that can be a double negative. And here's what I mean by that. We as a coaching team, we say, here's a process that we follow. You do your modules, you have certain things that you cover in your coaching sessions, we have a methodology, and yet while you follow the methodology, one of the things that I absolutely admire about you is you have a knack for being able to help someone think not just linearly, but think about just that the possibilities are endless, that there is a thread. I think you use the word thread a lot, that there is a thread, something that is the right career for you, and you help them in a way to explore that. So what's your magic solution? Like, tell me how you do that.
How do I be reliably unreliable?
Right.
You're right that I use thread a lot because it's such a good analogy. No matter how lost you are in a series of caves, there's one thread, however winding it goes, that gets you out, that gets you where you want to go. And a thread helps keep you from doubling back. It helps keep you from getting lost and circling around. So how do we get there? How do we follow those kinds of threads, and how do we be reliably unreliable? There's always one person removed from you that you can think like. There's always that one next person. So you say, if I'm talking to this person and they're a hiring manager, who does that hiring manager want to talk to? How do I become more like that person? Who is in the role that I want? How do I become more like that person? How do I become the solution to the problem that I have? There's always one step, and it's challenging at first, but then once you get into the habit, it becomes almost natural to think like the solution that you want to be. And I'll give a really specific example because I know that maybe sounded a little esoteric, but I had a client who was looking for chief marketing officer roles. That was really her wheelhouse, where she wanted to be. And she was a good researcher, but she was struggling a little bit. And for most people, 99% of people, their Googling is going to look like, how do I find a great chief marketing officer role? I told her, I said, I want you to do something else. I want you to get on Google, and I want you to search for, how do I hire a great chief marketing officer? You would not believe the difference in what research comes up. The articles written towards a CEO making their first CMO hire, or articles written warning people about what red flags to look for in their CMO. And suddenly she realized all of these things that she could be doing differently, and all of these things to change, because she put herself one person removed. Instead of thinking like her, she thought like the person she wanted to talk to, the CEO of the company she wanted to work for. Now she has a great chief marketing officer role. So we follow that thread. That's how we go from pin to pin to pin in the thread, is flipping ourselves just into one other person's perspective.
Brilliant. Love that. Being able to see a different perspective, and also then to see part of yourself as a solution, not the problem, because sometimes we get lost in that. A few more final questions. I'm sure you get this a lot, what is the best career advice you give to your clients?
Oh, the best career advice? All right, here's the best career advice. I think this is not just career advice. I think this is for everybody. The number of times where you should have left sooner and should have taken action sooner on a new goal vastly outnumbers the number of times you should have stuck it out for one more year. You should be making proactive choices in your life. Sometimes that means the proactive choice to stay, the proactive choice to seek a promotion, or to build a better relationship with your team. Don't live your life through defaults, though. Don't live your life by just taking whatever's going and letting it ride for another year. If you've been in your job for 5 years and you say to yourself, if I didn't already have this job and they offered it to me today, would I take it? If the answer is no, start looking. Don't stick it out one more year thinking it's going to get better. make proactive choices in your life every day. So that's my biggest career advice for people. And I think it's advice not just for career, but be a proactive decider in your own life.
Yes, yes, not reactive, but proactive. Give us your favorite client story.
My favorite, it's not even a contest. My favorite client story is I had a client who she had picked a company. It was her dream company. She said, after we'd landed on this company, she said, I'm ruined. I'll never work for anybody else. I don't know. I don't have a second choice. There is no plan B. I have to work for this company. I love that, because if you've got that level of dedication, you'll make anything work and you will be open to creative ideas. Then problem number 2 was, she said, I don't think they want me. I don't think they want what my skill set is. I said, that's issue number 17 on the list of issues. If you love them, we make them love you. Everything else will fall into place. Culture fit mattered more than anything. She created a video where she used that company's product and did sort of a review video, and it was funny, and she involved some friends, and it was low production, shot on a cell phone, but so much heart and great of her using this product, demonstrating the product to friends. She shared it with them. This is the client that called me somebody without qualms, because I shared it on LinkedIn and I tagged their CEO and their chief financial officer and all that. They got to see this. And lo and behold, it gets shared virally within their company. Their head of product development is sharing it on his personal Instagram. It goes all over the company. They end up putting her through this 27-round interview process where they told her, in round 1, we are hiring you. They said, unquestionable, we love you, hiring you. Every one of these interviews is now just to figure out how we're going to build a job for you, which department you're going to work in. And now she lives in San Francisco and works for that company. So it just shows that things like skill set, they don't matter as much as mentality, as culture fit, as drive. You can learn any skill in the world. If there's something that somebody needs, you can learn how to do it. You are one of my favorite lines from any movie is in The Wizard of Oz, where the wizard hands Scarecrow the diploma, and he says, there are people that think great thoughts, and they don't have any more brains than you have. There's nothing you can't learn. If you have the right mentality, the right drive, everything else is secondary. If you want to do it and believe it's possible, we can make it happen.
Love that story. And I remember the day she called, crying, screaming, all of the emotions. And I think half of us were also crying because we were just so excited.
Cheering, I know. It's wonderful.
So we'll wrap up. Sign me up. How do I work with you? What does that look like?
Well, somewhere, I'm just going to point in random directions, because I'm sure somewhere on here there's going to be a link that's visible. You can do a number of different things. If you want to just talk with me directly, I love an email. Book time with me. My Ama Vida team page has a link directly to my calendar. We can jump on the phone for a half an hour. Send me a message on LinkedIn. Send me an email. Any of those things, any of the above is great. If you are more curious about the total Ama Vida process, I'm not the only great coach here. There's a lot of great people. You can book some time with one of our relationship specialists. They're phenomenal because they're really great at getting into you and helping assign a matchmaker, playing a little matchmaker and assigning you a really great coach or specialist to work with you. So if you're not sure exactly where you want to be or exactly what you want to do yet, that's a really great place to start. And also, please just absorb all of the free stuff we put out there. We do webinars, we have a blog, we put a ton of this content out in the world. If you're watching this video, we didn't charge you for it. So there's just a ton of stuff that we put out there. Please engage with all of that. We want you to get to know us. We want you to have questions for us, and reach out. I'm receptive all the time.
Thank you. That was great. Thank you, everyone who joined us and got to know a little bit about Coach John. I can attest to firsthand that he is absolutely brilliant, and his clients adore him. And so should you want to work with him, trust me, you're going to love it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.